Hey everybody, and welcome in to On the Sidelines. I'm Seth Hagan, Hunter Price right beside me, and welcome to college football after week 3. It has been a topsy-turvy year so far. Already the prognosticators, ourselves included, looking kind of foolish on some picks. Some things that we just didn't see before the season happening. LSU's almost completely out of the rankings now. Louisville has jumped into the playoff picture. Hey, hello again. And craziness has ensued. I mean, Cincinnati almost beat Houston after Houston put themselves in the playoff conversation right off the bat. So really amazing what has already happened so far. Auburn took their second loss of the season at home. Ohio State almost doubling up Oklahoma and completely knocking Oklahoma out of the playoff picture as well. So it has been a pretty crazy season so far, to say the least. Hunter, what were your first impressions from this week? I mean, it was crazy. It was inexplicable at certain points.
At certain points it was. I thought the Alabama-Ole Miss game was a barn burner. What a game. Other than that, I thought, things kind of went as expected, at least in the SEC. Mm-hmm. Everybody that was expected to win won, except for Auburn, A&M. Everybody was on Auburn, and you saw what happened there.
Yep.
It's time to start talking about who the next Auburn head coach is going to be, I believe.
Yeah, it was Clemson all over again, maybe even worse. Because at least you had Cam Petway, you got like 120-something yards from him.
I don't think
and you still couldn't turn it into pay dirt.
I don't think it was worse than Clemson. Clemson was bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It wasn't as bad as Clemson, but it was still bad.
I would submit that the third quarter maybe was worse than anything that happened in Clemson. Mm-hmm. The third quarter was just bad. I mean, if you didn't watch, folks, it was basically Auburn's defense stopping Texas A&M. At midfield almost every time, and then getting the kick back and just the offense doing nothing with it. Auburn, I believe it was in the first or second quarter, got the ball at about the 45, immediately fumbled. So it just, bad luck followed the Tigers pretty much the entire game. Defense could not force any turnovers whatsoever, no fumbles, no interceptions. But I mean, a good game played by Texas A&M. I don't want to give it all or put it all on Auburn, but it was a crazy game. Could have gone either way. Both defenses played very well. I will say that Texas A&M did tackle very well when the play wasn't in the open space. I feel like they were taking legs out and tackling low, which is what you're supposed to do.
No, they played sound, fundamental defense. Yep. They played their gaps. They played smart. They didn't get out-tricked, out-fooled. Gus, I think, tried to get a little. He gets in those ways where he tries to get too cute.
Yeah, man.
And it's like.
But no full-on surprise plays, no tricks.
What I've noticed in Auburn is when teams line up and start getting physical with Auburn, it's not like the players aren't physical. Gus's play calling isn't physical.
And that's amazing because, I mean, that's his brand. It's power, play-action football.
But it's not physical. When they get physical, it's like Gus tries to think of ways to get around it. And when you look at the game, I like White. I think he's a great quarterback. I'm sticking with him. I don't think he did anything wrong. White was 18 of 27 for 123 yards. All right? That was compared to Trevor Knight, who was 20 of 40 for 247 and 1 TD. White didn't get any options. There was no play calls to push the ball down the field.
No. It was not one single ball thrown past 20 yards the entire game.
White protected the ball. He got the team in position, and they moved. Auburn finished with 399 total yards of offense. That's not good, and it has to be better than that. You have to get in the 400s.
And before they inserted John Franklin into there, those numbers were looking somewhere around like 220, 230.
Yeah, it was horrible. First downs, Auburn wins. Auburn has 26 first downs.
Yeah.
To Texas
I kept
A&M's.
looking at the scoreboard like we're even, like Auburn's even the whole time. Like, how is this game just slowly pulling apart?
26 first downs to Texas A&M's 19. Total plays, Auburn 93, Texas A&M 78.
That's amazing. You run 93 plays.
93 plays for only 399 total yards of offense.
And only 16 points?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and
embarrassing.
Then, when you look at penalties, Auburn only had 6 penalties for 28 yards. compared to Texas A&M's 9 penalties for 70 yards.
Yeah.
You look at the stats, Auburn's winning a lot of these categories. They're just not physical, and it comes down to Gus Malzahn's play calling. And that's why it shows me when you look at the stats that Auburn has the talent to have a great offense.
Yeah.
And it's not the players.
Yeah. You really have to look at the coach.
It's not the players and it's not the quarterback. It's the coach and it's how he's using this offensive line. Why you're going to pull Braden Smith, a guard, to block Myles Garrett, the best rushing defensive end in the game in college football, is beyond me. You don't pull a guard to block a tackle. If Robert Leff can't get the job done or Austin Golson can't get the job done, you leave a back end to clip them.
You're right.
You know?
It seems like they're with the infusion of Herb Hand at offensive line. It just seems like this team isn't quite. I mean, they're doing too much. They're doing too much, and when you do too much in a game, you end up doing nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's where Auburn seems to be. They're having an identity crisis straight up.
You know,
and when you throw in Franklin with 10 minutes to go in the game and missed, that's too little, too late.
You don't take any shots, and the only time you have any pass plays that go downfield more than 20 yards, it's off that Statue of Liberty play action.
That you run every game.
That is it.
Everybody's seen that play a million times.
And it takes too long. You can't run that when you're going against Myles Garrett. You can't run that.
You're right.
And
that play almost got blown up during the game.
And there was nothing else. You look at White. White's controlling the team. White has control of the team. He is the leader. He's not turning the ball over. He's hitting this check down. But they're only running like 10-yard outs.
Yeah, and when you're going from 3rd and long, and you're hitting check downs. I mean, why is he hitting check downs? Because his guys aren't getting free down the field. Like they can't. Obviously, Sean has the ability to throw the ball downfield. We've seen it, but no one's getting free. So
no one's getting free. And why can't Auburn have Petway and Kerryon Johnson on the field at the same time?
Yes.
You got away from Petway.
I never see Chandler Cox blocking for Cameron Petway. Why is that?
In the third quarter, you got away from Petway.
Yep.
You did.
Yeah. But I mean, you didn't have no time to get him on the field because I think Auburn averaged 1.7 yards a play in the third quarter. Couldn't even get him out.
Why can't you put Kerryon Johnson on the outside with Petway in the backfield and match Kerryon Johnson up with the linebacker?
Yes, and then again, when I said this after Clemson, you put Kerryon at Wildcat quarterback in the fourth quarter when it's too late. He did it again at Texas A&M, and once again scored a rushing touchdown. It's like, come on, man. What are you doing? You got the pieces. So, yeah,
we can go on about Auburn forever, and we'll talk about Auburn some more. Talk Alabama, Ole Miss.
Yeah, that was the actual good game.
What a game.
Yes, amazing. Just a complete carousel.
No, Alabama, Ole Miss is 48-43. About 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Ole Miss is up 24-3.
Mm-hmm. Then Chad Kelly gets knocked down, fumbles the ball, scoops it up into the end zone, and just like that, Bama gets right back.
Hugh Freeze lost this game with his play calling and time management at the end of the first half.
Yeah,
I mean, it was an absolute joke. You look at the game.
And they gave up, I believe they ran a kickback as well in the first half.
In the first half, they had a punt return by Eddie Jackson, return for a touchdown.
These are things that cannot happen when
you're
trying to pull the upset.
2 defensive touchdowns and a punt return for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. The 2 defensive touchdowns were the 49th and 50th of Alabama on the defensive side of the ball since Nick Saban's been there. 50 defensive touchdowns.
That's amazing. Like, think about that. Some coaches don't get half that in their career.
You know how you beat Alabama? You don't try and make plays when you know you got beat on the play.
Right. Yeah. Don't make it worse.
Alabama's won this play, all right? Let's give it to them. All right, I'll take the sack. Alabama won this play.
Yeah.
All right?
Get the scores when you can, and when you're not scoring, just chill. Yeah. Because if you try to do too much, you end up screwing the whole thing up.
And it's like teams feel like they have to do too much to beat Alabama, but really that's not the case.
You don't.
Just
stick to what you're good at.
Stick to what you're good at and play sound football and don't turn the ball over, and you win. And it's a lot of it is Alabama creating the turnover, but can you do that?
Oh yeah, I just did it, baby.
A lot of it's Alabama forcing the turnovers, but some of it is just stupid trying to make a play when there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And when that happens, that's when you get whipped. You know, in the game, Jalen Hurts, what a freshman. He was 19 of 31, 158 yards passing. But on top of that, what made him great this game, 18 attempts for 146 yards.
Wow. That's something right there.
8.1. That's how Alabama got their rushing game going Saturday. You had Hurts with 146 yards rushing. You had Damian Harris with 16 attempts for 144 yards rushing. Your quarterback averaged 8.1 yards per carry, and your running back averaged 9 yards per carry.
That's amazing. And contrast that with Ole Miss. I mean, you've got Chad Kelly leading them in rushing.
Yeah.
And still should have won the game.
Yeah, Chad Kelly.
That shouldn't happen.
Chad Kelly, pretty good game for Kelly. He was 26 of 41 for 421 yards and 3 TDs with only 1 interception. He played a great game. Ole Miss should have won this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you give them the kick, the kick return for a touchdown, that's the game. The fumble for the touchdown, that's the game. The third defensive touchdown, that's the game. I mean, that's 21 points, man. That's 21 points. You had a 21-point lead, and it's crazy.
Total yards, Alabama had 492 total yards. Ole Miss is 527.
We've got something pretty funny coming up after the break, everybody. Make sure you stick around. Not this break, but at 7:30, we got a really funny video and some guys who made that video, SEC Shorts from AL.com. Don't know if you guys have heard about it, but if you haven't heard, we're going to let you know. These guys are bringing the funny and some really good stuff. You're really going to enjoy this video where they're poking a little fun at the Ole Miss fans after the game. It's some good stuff. So everybody stick around for that.
Quick before we go to commercial?
Do it. Sure.
Ole Miss, 527 total yards of offense. Alabama with 492. Rushing, Alabama 334 rushing yards. That was the difference. Ole Miss only had 106. Ole Miss, if they want to really be a competitor, have got to pick up the rushing.
Yeah.
They got to be better. They got to be better on the ground. Passing, 421 Ole Miss, 158 Alabama. Jalen Hurts, he's playing smart. He's not turning the ball over, and he's playing within the system. He's smart. Penalties, Ole Miss won. Alabama had 9 penalties for 75 yards, and penalties has been an issue for Alabama. They're going to have to fix that.
You're right.
Alabama,
big issue against Western
Ole
Kentucky
Miss won
as well.
the first downs, 23-22. Not much of a difference there. And then time of possession, Alabama dominated 35 minutes and 23 seconds to 24 minutes and 37 seconds for Ole Miss.
What was crazy about the Auburn game is that Auburn actually had more time of possession in that game. Not only did they run more plays, but they actually held the ball longer, which is hard to believe. Clearly. But, hey, we're going to go over the rest of the SEC and the top 25 in the next break, so everybody stick around. Also, you see that number at the bottom of your screen. Make sure you call that. We're going to be giving away one of these hover helmets called the Studio. We're going to hit you guys with a random trivia question about Week 3. Make sure you study it up. So, everybody stick around. More on the sidelines on the other side.
Head to Carl Cannon. Their dream team makes it real easy to do business.
This is Tyler Herron at Carl Cannon Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac, and GMC. Did you see behind me, I got one of our Z71 Chevrolet Silverados. We have many like it. This is actually a Tuscany truck. It has a lift kit and the aftermarket wheels and tires. We are a Tuscany dealer. Come down and see us in Jasper, Alabama, and Carl Cannon Boulevard off exit 65, or you can give us a call at 205-384-5561.
Other dealers can't? Cannon can.
Carl Cannon, Chevy Buick GMC Cadillac in Jasper.
Every day, students at Bevel State Community College tell their own stories. They tell them through the accomplishments they achieve, the choices they make for career success, and through recommendations they share with friends. With 5 locations serving 7 counties and tuition lower than other colleges, now is the time to start writing your own success story. Your story starts at Bevel State.
Ready to Work Trucks in Summerton is just that. The place to go from anywhere in the country to find good used trucks for any need. Brian and Robert Harlan and their staff will assist you with financing and delivery. Brian is a 3-time National Truck Salesman of the Year and a 5-time Kenworth Walk-Around Champion with 30 years experience. Ready to Work Trucks, more than just a slogan, a business guarantee.
When you buy a truck from Ready to Work Trucks, everything works. All lights, all gauges, all switches, brakes are good. You can go anywhere in the country. or on the internet, and you can buy you a used truck, and it's ready for you to go home and work on it. Or you can come to Ready to Work Trucks, where everything on our trucks work. And the horn blows, the brakes work, the tires are good, the kingpins are good. Hey, come visit us on Old 78 Highway in Summerton, Alabama, small town, big business. Come see us. We'll see that Ready to Work Trucks is more than our slogan, it's our business guarantee.
Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Sidelines. Seth Hagen right here, Hunter Price right over there. Hunter, man, just got done talking about some Auburn, Alabama. Alabama seems to be figuring some things out and progressing, where Auburn seems to still be stuck in that same quarterback rut that they've been in for a while. But now, I mean, after several unsuccessful runs at the quarterback position, you have to kind of wonder, is it the quarterback or is it the guy who's coaching the quarterback? I think people are starting to figure that out.
It's the guy that's coaching the quarterback.
Especially on the plains.
I'm telling you now, it's the guy that's coaching the quarterback.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
It's not Sean White.
When three guys can't run your offense.
It's not Sean White, and I'm sorry, but to all the Auburn fans that want Franklin, Franklin's not the answer.
He's a temporary help.
He's a temporary.
He's a change of pace.
He should
that's
get.
that's the only thing he can be.
He should get a few plays and a few plays only.
Yeah.
White should get 75 to 80% of the offensive snaps, and you throw Franklin out there for a quick change of pace.
I agree.
When you're starting to sputter in the mud, but you gotta. You know what Gus Malzahn's problem is?
What's that?
He doesn't have faith and he doesn't trust his players, and I don't think he has faith and trusts his offensive scheme, and it shows.
The last couple of years have made him very reluctant to trust his players.
But the way I see it is, they're out there.
You might as well.
You got to make it happen.
The season is.
You got to make it happen. You got to throw the ball.
You're not going to the playoffs this year, so you might as well start trusting them and let them make their mistakes and get it out of the way.
When you don't trust them, they stop trusting themselves and they stop trusting each other.
You're right.
And that's Gus Malzahn's fault, and you can see it on the field. Is he doesn't trust them to get the job done. And he's got to do that. He's got to just put trust and faith in his team to get the job done.
Because what else do you have to lose at this point?
You have nothing to lose. You're already going to lose your job.
Yeah, it's over with. You are coaching for your life against Les Miles. It is the hot seat bowl, and there's going to be some hot seats up in that room, and they better figure it out. Whoever it is, because, I mean, whoever comes out of the game, the loser, they may as well say goodbye.
When you have 93 total plays to A&M 78, that's 15 extra plays you had. Just go deep with those 15 plays. Go 20-plus yard plays. Try it.
Yeah.
Try. See what happens if you try, and try doing it.
Somebody might catch it with one hand.
Try doing it without using the Statue of Liberty play-action play. That's the only play he runs to go deep off of. And it's an absolute joke. I'm sick and tired of it. Bob Stoops, we're looking for homes for you now in Auburn. Because I guarantee you this.
I don't want Stoops.
I'll take
Nobody
Stoops.
Wants Stoops.
I'll take Stoops in a heartbeat. I think Stoops will do great in Auburn.
But he can't. Can he maintain the defensive side of the ball though?
Yes, he can. Oklahoma's had great defenses, and you know he's going to bring his brother Mark Stoops in, who's going to be
defense for the Big 12.
And you know
which doesn't play defense.
You know he's going to be bringing his brother Mark Stoops in, who's going to lose his job at the end of the year at Kentucky.
You're right about that.
I mean, that would be a great hire, man. You go get Bob Stoops, and he brings in his brother Mark.
Yeah, but
that'd be huge.
Oklahoma's not going to fire him. I don't know if will he be available.
They might this year, dude. They're going to be going 8-4, 7-5, and the fire is inevitable.
He just needs to retire.
No, he's too young to retire, and I think he might, because it's either he gets fired or he gets out before he gets fired.
Yeah. I mean, I would see a resignation.
And I think Oklahoma's going to be looking for a new coach this year. And it might be Tom Herman. If Auburn can't get Herman or Sonny Dykes, I might go Stoops over Dykes. But go get Stoops, because he's either getting fired at the end of the year or he's going to be looking for a new job himself, because it's coming. Yeah. Oklahoma's tired of this. They're tired of getting their butt whipped by Ohio State. They're tired of getting
They're just tired of losing in big spots.
And it's,
I mean, is there a team that's lost more in a bigger spot in the last 15 years?
Bob Stoops, he's got the Mark Richt syndrome at Georgia. It's just he's been there so long. I don't think Mark Stoops is. I think Bob Stoops can come into Auburn and dominate and be great. But
Mark Richt's having a heck of a time in Miami so far.
It's change of scenery. It's change of scenery.
Yeah,
it's
everything's
refreshing.
fresh.
Yep, you're hitting that refresh button. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it at all. I would not be surprised next year to see Bob Stoops as the head coach at Auburn.
That would blow my mind. I've made fun of him for so long, and for them, and then for him to be the coach. Oh boy! All right. Anyway, we'll get past that. One of the biggest matchups of the week was Florida State Louisville. Florida State came into the game slightly favored, but by the time this thing was done, boy, let me tell you what. They are not favored in anything.
Not when this guy has
anything
the ball.
significant.
Look at this.
This guy.
Look at that.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson
ran circles. Ran circles. Richard, if you got that video of the Louisville Florida State game, play that too, because I mean it was absolute video game like numbers. We've got a really nice trivia question for you guys about Louisville's quarterback going into it. But I mean, look at this guy just faking it, looking like Nick Marshall, man. I mean, Auburn fans are sitting there like, "Hey, Gus, how come Petrino has this guy and you don't?"
Yeah, actually, he was going to Florida before Florida fired Will Muschamp.
Really?
Yeah, he
Oh
was.
my gosh.
So if Florida would have kept Will Muschamp, they'd had Lamar Jackson.
And
now.
still would have had a stout defense.
But I would take
everybody that was on Auburn's recruiting class basically would have stayed at Florida. It would have been the biggest recruiting class in the last 5 years.
I'd take Jim McElwain for the future over Lamar Jackson. You know, Lamar Jackson against Florida State. Louisville just crushed Florida State, 63-20. The game was over by the end of the first quarter. Lamar Jackson, 13 of 20 passing for 216 yards, 1 TD and 1 interception.
But then the 146 on the ground and the 4 rushing touchdowns.
Rushing touchdowns.
I mean, here's one of them right here. Pardon me, that's the running back. But my goodness, I mean, it was. I just saw the score going further and further and further. I was just sitting there like, you got to be kidding me.
My mom was
At some point, you have to stop them. Nope, you don't. And I mean, DeAndre Francois just could not keep up. He was pressured all night. Louisville really looks like a true playoff contender. They have offense, they have defense, and I mean, who can score with them at this point? Who? Clemson? That's about it.
They still have to play Clemson. They still have to play Louisville, and they still have to play Houston.
That's true. They do have to play Houston.
They have to play Houston.
Boy, how big? That is a de facto playoff game.
That might be Heisman versus Heisman, Greg Ward Jr. and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just feel like Louisville's just going to hook up against somebody. They're just going to go and lose to Wake Forest or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I truly feel like there's just going to be that one game where they fall apart.
Yeah. And I mean, we won't have to wait long. Just 2 weeks. Louisville will play Clemson, and then after that sets up for their November matchup against Houston on my birthday. So that's a nice little birthday present. Shout out to you guys for that. I know you were thinking of me.
And I heard an interesting stat. You know what Bobby Petrino did to Lamar Jackson the first 13 practices of fall? He would not let Lamar Jackson run out of the pocket. Every practice, the entire practice.
Forced him to pass.
For the first 13 practices of the fall, he had to stay in the pocket.
That's just stuff a good coach does. Like, Petrino, for all of his flaws and for being just a complete, horrible human being at certain points in his life, let's just be honest, he is a fantastic coach. Like, for every part of him that is a horrible person, he is an equally fantastic coach. And it's just so frustrating because you think back when people were thinking like, oh man, who should Petrino just got fired. They were like, no, can't hire him at Auburn. Just bring in Gus Malzahn. Don't bring in Louisville, or don't bring in Petrino. And look what's happened. Basically, Petrino and Auburn have been going in opposite directions ever since 2013.
Yeah.
And look what's happening now.
No, it's an
It's
for Auburn.
crazy
it's an
to think
absolute
about
joke,
what could have been.
And Malzahn needs to be fired. I'm sorry, he's lost control of this. The players are there; they're wanting to play.
Yeah.
Malzahn has lost control of himself.
Yeah,
And
he's overthinking.
6 straight SEC home losses is unacceptable.
7. Well, 7 to Power 5 opponents.
7 to Power 5, 6 straight SEC home losses. That is unacceptable.
Yeah, and at Jordan there, people will not stand for that. Looks like we have a caller on the line. Let's go ahead and see what they would like to say before the break.
Go to break.
All right, caller, you're on live. Who are we talking with?
This is Josh and Robert.
Hey, Josh. All right, cool. Well, that's perfect. So we're gonna get you guys in the third segment. I'm glad they called in. So everybody, before we go to break, that lets you know we've got Josh Sneed and Robert Clay. They represent AL.com, SEC Shorts. Got some really funny videos. We're gonna get to that video right after the break. So let's go ahead and take that break right now. Pay some bills. More on the sidelines, just around the corner, everybody. Cool.
Let me answer the phone.
Man, I
Here at Carl Cannon Chevrolet, we offer a wide variety of vehicles. Trucks is one of our main things that we have here. We offer them that can be dinghy towed, flat towed, and we also have vehicles that can tow between 3,500 pounds all the way to 17,500 pounds. So if you need a vehicle that can just take you to church on Sundays or pull the load on Mondays, we've got them all right here for you at Carl Cannon. Been here for 50 years. Come see us in Jasper.
Other dealers can't, Cannon can.
Carl Cannon, Chevy Buick GMC Cadillac in Jasper.
From Mobile to Florence, from Auburn to Tuscaloosa, for all your commercial or private paving needs is Alabama's premier surfacing company. 20 years experience has the equipment and personnel to handle any job anywhere in the state of Alabama. Call 205-648-3117.
Oh my gosh.
Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Sidelines. With us on the phone right now, Robert Clay and Josh Sneed, AL.com, SEC Shorts. Told you about them right before we took that last break. Let's go ahead and get to this video. Really funny stuff, parodying the aftermath of the Ole Miss Alabama program. Go ahead, Richard.
What is that? Is that the...
Yep. That's the 2014 Ole Miss goalpost. Oh God, they don't know.
Hey, you seen a goalpost come through here? Big, yellow?
No, haven't.
Must have just missed it.
Wait, so you mean to tell me you guys have been carrying this thing around since 2014?
Oh, no doubt, dude. In 14, we hit the Grove, and we were just like, let's keep going, guys. And, like, we hit the Square, and we were like, let's keep going, guys. And, like, before we knew it, we're at a Panic show in Colorado, bro.
It's impressive.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Kind of like heroes, but whatever.
I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but Alabama won the game.
No, today, no. Dude, Nina actually texted me earlier. We were up by 3 touchdowns, and that's when we headed in. So.
Yeah, no, you did. You had a 3-touchdown lead. It was a pretty intense game, actually. It was kind of fun, but Alabama won the game.
Are you right now to my face telling me that we lost a 3-touchdown lead?
Yeah.
Twice this season.
Yeah, this is the second time, actually.
Let's just go home, Connor.
No! Don't give up, dude. We're gonna roam the earth every day until we tear down another goalpost to replace this one. Let's get out of here. Rotate!
Man, I am so glad we don't rush the field.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, everybody, you can catch them on AL.com's YouTube page. That one just came out today, already several thousand views. But once again, we welcome back into the program Josh Sneed, Robert Clay of AL.com. Guys, appreciate the time today.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hey, I just right off the bat, I want to ask, how did this whole thing come about? The SEC Shorts, you guys have been doing it for a couple of seasons now. So how's everything going, and how did you get started?
Yeah, we, when Paul Feinbaum started doing his TV show on the SEC Network, he had this segment where people could send in just video rants, kind of like calling in, but you do it in video form.
Yeah.
So we just kind of went above and beyond as much as we possibly could with production value and just started sending them in, and they got a pretty good response, and it just sort of built a momentum after that. And AL.com contacted us, and I started working there, and we've just been able to grow the brand pretty heavily since we've been there. So that's kind of how it's been going.
Wow, that's funny how it started. I actually sent one of those videos in too, but and the producer John told me he was going to put it on the show, and he never did. He probably tells a lot of people that. Anyway,
That's the worst. You have to watch the whole show to like see if they play it, and it's like a 4-hour show.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to keep it all together.
You just don't have a face for TV. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're right. That's the problem. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
you should consider that maybe you are too ugly to do that. You should think about that.
All right, cool. Can I get on y'all's video then?
We've already explained this. You're too ugly.
Oh, good stuff. Oh, I love it. All right. Fellas, this was a crazy weekend in college football. Lots of close games, a few blowouts that we didn't quite expect. What did you guys take away from the weekend? What was the craziest game you watched?
I was in Oxford for the Alabama game, so I didn't, other than the Louisville Florida State game and a little bit of the Auburn game, I didn't really get to watch too much else. But the Alabama game was pretty crazy enough.
Yes.
It was a really good game, and I had a lot of fun. And the people in Oxford were really nice as well. It was a good time.
Yeah, I've been to there a few times. They are legendary for their Southern hospitality, as it were. The Grove is always.
Have you been there for a game day then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Been on the Grove. I've reported on them a couple times for Tailgater Monthly, and I mean, it blows your mind every time. Just they're the top end people for tailgating.
Try to explain.
Yeah, the tailgates were all really nice, and people dress up. It was raining, and girls were still in like leather skirts, and dudes had like bow ties and stuff. I felt weird for being in overalls, no shirt, had like bags of shoes.
So you were in overalls and they were in bow ties, so it was
You
typical
joking?
Alabama fan
You
dressed
know
up
that?
like an Ole Miss fan. Get it?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Kinda.
Explain to me, all right, Ole Miss, they had to be just going crazy, up 24-3. Tell us what it was like towards the end of the game when they're down by 13 with like 2 minutes to go.
So, everyone is like politely trash talking at the beginning of the game. And I just, most of the time, had my hands buried, or my face buried in my hands. So, they're kind of dancing around, they're yelling stuff. And then it started to get really quiet in the third quarter. And it was really funny because the people who were like, all of a sudden they're getting kind of tired and they want to beat traffic,
I mean, that just had to be. I mean, and for it to basically happen exactly like the Florida State game, to be that emotionally charged and your team is dominating, and then to have it the rug pulled out from under you like that. I mean, that's an emotional roller coaster. Only few fan bases know how to deal with, and I mean, Ole Miss has had their chances.
It looks like they both did it the same way, where they just kind of tired out the defense and then ran the ball over them. So it's got to be rough for an Ole Miss fan to watch, for sure.
It definitely was. And it was pretty much, last week is for the most part, teams that were supposed to win won, other than I had East Carolina beating South Carolina. And if you look at that game, stat-wise.
Oh, man, it was close.
Stat-wise, they
could have happened.
That 3 turnovers in the red zone, buddy.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. If you look at the stats, you'd think East Carolina won by like 60. I'm not kidding. But next week, what are you looking forward to? Where are you at next week? What are y'all looking forward to?
I think it's going to be an interesting game with Auburn LSU. You know, Auburn has just been struggling pretty mightily with Power 5 teams lately. So, you know, I'm a big Auburn fan, and it's been, you know, my birthday was during the Texas A&M game, and I'm just sitting there like carrying my face in cake and just like drowning my sorrows. It's tough to watch sometimes, but you know, it'll be interesting to kind of. Fortunately, it looks like that's going to be a race for the bottom of the SEC West, but. That's an interesting one for me, and then just more on a national scale. You know, some of the Big Ten games have been fairly interesting, just how those teams have been playing.
Yeah, I've made several videos about Auburn myself, and I just when you've dealt with the ups and downs like Auburn has, it's almost like you have to laugh to keep from crying, and I think that's something that you guys really hit on is like the fan experience. And, yeah, we might be feeling down about it, but at least we can maybe laugh about it later to try to maybe detract from the crushing emotional hurt that we're feeling after the weekend. I mean, it's the life of an SEC fan, though, and you guys capture it pretty well. Let me you guys talked about you did see the Louisville-Florida State game. Tell me what was going through y'all's minds as you just saw that score going higher and higher and higher throughout the day.
You know, I thought was interesting was you looked at Ole Miss jumping out to a big lead against Florida State, and you just saw Florida State battle back. And I was watching this game, and I'm just expecting at any moment for Louisville to start self-destructing, for Florida State to start crawling back into it. And it just didn't happen. They just kept getting big play after big play. You know, the Louisville quarterback is just running up and down the field. And, you know, before you know it, I mean, there's just, you got the backups and you're kicking field goals, you know, down 40-something points. So I was really surprised that it kind of got away from Florida State like that. I thought they had shown real promise against Ole Miss. But, you know, Louisville is the real deal, it looks like.
Yeah, they vaulted into the top 5. First time they've been there in a long time, certainly since Petrino was there last. With the top 4 being so crazy and it's up and down, Oklahoma completely got blown out again by Ohio State, pretty much ensuring that they will not be in the playoff picture.
Bob Stoops is gone.
Yeah, and so
Stoops is coming to Auburn, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, people are jumping in and out of that top 4. So who do you guys like as your top 4 right now? Obviously, it'll all kind of change. But right now, who are the 4 teams that you guys like?
Oh, man, that's tough. Obviously, I've got Bama at the top, maybe Ohio State too, Louisville, and Houston maybe.
Okay.
Did Houston lose? I don't know.
Did Houston lose? No. I would say, I would obviously put Alabama first, and then, you know, Ohio State is looking just very dominant. And, you know, I would actually probably put Louisville third. Just, I think they've shown, you know, that they're able to play with anybody. Clemson, I feel like Clemson struggled against Auburn, and, you know, they haven't really played that many people, so I'd bump them down. And then, yeah, I would probably put Houston in the top 5, which, you know, strange to be saying that, but, yeah, I think they've shown great offensive potential, and, yeah, if Tom Herman were to come to Auburn, I'm dancing in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
in the rain.
I saw today that Michigan got a first-place vote today, too. And,
yeah.
There's no way my hate for Jim Harbaugh could allow me to put them in any top 4 or 5.
I like that. Well, and the good thing about these teams that seem to be clustered there around 4, 5, and 6, a lot of them will end up playing each other. We'll see Clemson face off against Louisville here in a couple of weeks. And also Louisville and Houston now look like a de facto playoff game, like a semifinal or a semi-semifinal. What was that, a quarterfinal? Yeah. So if it came down to Houston and Louisville, and they're still just on track to go with it, who do you guys think evolves more as a team and wins in November?
I mean, I think it's going to be Houston. Just I think I don't know. I think that they've kind of been close the past few years, and I think they just finally have figured it out offensively. They've got just incredibly talented athletes, and just the way they, you know, the first game of the season when they're just on national TV and they're just completely steamrolling Oklahoma. I think that's just, you know, granted Oklahoma I think has shown their true colors a little bit, but yeah, I would got to go with Houston.
Going with Houston. For me, one last question from us.
And I don't know. For me, it might be Louisville just because I think they'd have more impressive wins. But
yeah, Louisville has more impressive wins. That's a tough one for me because Houston really has a great run defense. People don't talk about the defensive line that Houston has.
Both of those teams' defenses are underrated.
They are, and both of them face, you know, little speedsters at quarterback. You know, so they're kind of prepared for that. Would be a tough game. That would be a great playoff game, Houston versus
Louisville.
Louisville.
I can't wait for that. But, I mean, how golden is it that they got put on each other's schedules for this year? It's almost like it was destined.
Yeah, but like I said before,
I think kind of like the old SEC West when they had, you know, 5 of the 6 top teams in the top 6 there, and they just start weeding each other out as the season progresses.
Yeah, and for me, I still think Louisville loses to a cupcake. I do.
I would not be surprised at all.
I could totally see them losing to a Wake Forest at 11 a.m. on Jefferson Pilot.
Oh, man.
We get all 3 days reunited to call.
Oh, that's a hangover game. I can see, I mean, because Cincinnati could have definitely pulled that off if they could have gotten anything from their offense.
Cincinnati could have pulled it off, but they got tired. I see Louisville losing one. I see Dave Baker just excited in the booth as Wake Forest pulls the upset with a field goal to win the game.
If Wake Forest did it, I would laugh so hard.
But what you got? I love Wake Forest, man. They're one of my favorite teams.
I'm telling you. All right.
But
somebody loves Wake Forest. Yeah, that's really strong. Tone that down a little bit.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and hit Vegas up about that. We'll probably get good odds.
But real quick before we let you go, Auburn or LSU, who's looking for a new coach first?
Auburn. No, I just
Robert jumped in quick.
I think the buyout alone is going to keep Gus around for another year, regardless of record.
You think so?
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling as well.
Even with that Apple money.
Yeah, he's going to be needing that one. The iPhone 7 being a bomb.
Oh man.
What if Auburn fans just got together and sold all their iPhones for Gus Malzahn's buyout?
Oh my gosh.
Brett Lashley must be paid.
But fantastic. Well, looks like we got another call. But guys, we're about to jump to break. Thanks for joining us, Seth. You got anything else?
That's it, guys. Appreciate the time, and hopefully we can have you on sometime again.
All right, good, Seth. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take care.
Go to break.
All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. Your calls when we return. Stick around. Shit, who was it? Can we see the call log? Call history.
Head to Carl Cannon. Their dream team makes it real easy to do business.
Here at Carl Cannon Chevrolet, we offer a wide variety of vehicles. Trucks is one of our main things that we have here. We offer them that can be dinghy-towed, flat-towed, and we also have vehicles that can tow between 3,500 pounds all the way to 17,500 pounds. So if you need a vehicle that can just take you to church on Sundays or pull the load on Mondays, we've got them all right here for you at Carl Cannon. Been here for 50 years. Come see us in Jasper.
Other dealers can't, Cannon can.
Carl Cannon, Chevy Buick GMC Cadillac in Jasper.
Every day, students at Bevel State Community College tell their own stories. They tell them through the accomplishments they achieve, the choices they make for career success, and through recommendations they share with friends. With 5 locations serving 7 counties and tuition lower than 4-year colleges, now is the time to start writing your own success story. Your story starts at Bevel State.
Ready to Work Trucks in Summerton is just that. The place to go from anywhere in the country to find good used trucks for any need. Brian and Robert Harlan and their staff will assist you with financing and delivery. Brian is a 3-time National Truck Salesman of the Year and a 5-time Kenworth Walk-Around Champion with 30 years experience. Ready to Work Trucks, more than just a slogan, a business guarantee.
When you buy a truck from Ready to Work Trucks, everything works. All lights, all gauges, all switches, brakes are good. You can go anywhere in the country or on the internet and you can buy you a used truck and it's ready for you to go home and work on it. Or you can come to Ready to Work Trucks, where everything on our trucks work. And the horn blows, the brakes work, the tires are good, the kingpins are good. Hey, come visit us on Old 78 Highway in Summerton, Alabama, small town, big business. Come see us. We'll see that Ready to Work Trucks is more than our slogan, it's our business guarantee.
All right, everybody, welcome back to On the Sidelines. Fourth quarter action right here for you. And we've got a caller on the line who's trying to win one of these lovely hover helmets. Caller, we got Brent in Hoover. How you doing, Brent? How's it going?
I'm great.
Good, good. Are you ready for your random trivia question to try to win?
I am.
All right, it's a multiple choice. I'm not going to give you too many specifics, but Lamar Jackson firmly inserted himself into the Heisman race after this weekend's blowout of Florida State, scoring he scored 5 touchdowns this week. So now, after 3 weeks, he's amassed quite a bit of touchdowns, both rushing and passing. We're going to ask you his total for the season. Does he have 16 total touchdowns, 18 total touchdowns, or 20 total touchdowns?
I'm going to go with 20 touchdowns.
Ooh. Close.
But no cigar.
All right.
How many is it?
It's 18.
18 total touchdowns.
18 total touchdowns. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Let's give him one more chance.
Give him one more.
Give him one more chance because we have not tried this. All right. So the last time Louisville was ranked in the top 5, oddly enough, Bobby Petrino was the coach back then. And he had them at number 3 in the country, just like he had them, or just like he has them in the rankings just announced today. So, what year did he last have Louisville ranked in the top 5? Was it in 2003, 2005, or 2010?
Let's go.
Think about where he was in those years.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Let's go with 2010.
Oh.
Another one? Dang.
Bobby was in Arkansas in 2010.
I tried to help him out with that one.
2003, am I right? 2003?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2003. Yeah. That's a hard one, man.
That was close, but I tried to help him out with the 2010. I felt like that was pretty out there.
Bobby was on a motorcycle, Brent.
Yeah, he was toting volleyball players around.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It happens. You might have had a concussion. He had one too. He found a girl on the back of his bike. He didn't even know she was there.
I've heard some crazy rumors about that story, yo.
Brent, before we let you go, man, what was your takeaway on the weekend?
Man, it was great. Unbelievable games, finishes. Late night games were great too, so everybody had something great to watch.
Yeah. What do you have? What do you think happens this coming up week? What do you have? Auburn, LSU. Who are you taking?
My heart's gonna say Auburn, but my money's gonna say LSU.
I can't trust Gus.
Yeah, I can't.
I think Auburn's a better team, but I can't trust Gus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Auburn's talent.
Word of the week.
Everybody's
hopping off the Gus bus.
Yeah, he blew a head gasket in the bus. I mean, it's not even a flat tire. He's blown the head gasket.
Yeah. It's going to take some repairing.
Alabama, Kent State. How much does Kent State win by?
Probably gonna say about You know, I'm gonna be humble. I'm gonna say about 20 points.
You heard it right here. Kent State beats Alabama by 20 from Brent and Hoover. But Brent, thanks for calling in, buddy.
Yeah,
And, we'll hit you up.
All right, thanks, guys. I had a good time.
All right, buddy. All right, you guys can hit those phone lines just like Brent did, 888-242-8517. Got 9 minutes left in the program, so call in. We got random trivia questions from week 3. If you're watching, hopefully you win, and you win one of these awesome hover helmets. These things are pretty friggin' sweet. All right, let's take a look at next week's matchups because it's going to be another week of good matchups, especially in the SEC. We're going to kick off things, though, with Clemson, Georgia Tech on a Thursday night in Atlanta. Clemson favored by 13, but Georgia Tech beat the snot out of Vanderbilt this past weekend.
You know how I love to pick those wild upsets.
Yep, I know you do.
I'm going to give you a couple of wild upsets every week, and I'm giving you one now. Georgia Tech beats Clemson.
Oh, my gosh. Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
We ain't stopping.
Dude, I love those Thursday nights. They're scary games for the ranked team. And Georgia Tech's one of those, they're difficult because of that triple option.
It is.
It's difficult. And I thought Vanderbilt would beat them because of their defensive line and linebackers.
Yeah.
But, my gosh.
It's tough. It's tough to figure that out. That's
Derek Mason, man, he's turned Vanderbilt into masonry, dude. Brick and mortar.
I mean, the
Don't go
offense
anywhere.
can't continue to be horrible. Eventually, there's going to be some animosity that builds up. Like that was my thing. Like after the game, Auburn's defense, they said like it's not the offense's fault. We're all brothers. We don't get mad at each other. Okay, yeah, you don't get mad in September, but in November, if it's still happening, somebody's going to be like, hey guys, you're going to play with us today. You're going to show up with us today because we need you. And it's just not happening. So, I mean, people can act all hunky-dory now, but when November, when the injuries are piling up and people are losing sleep and people's jobs are in the balance, it's going to get a little testy. So, just throwing that out there. USC, Utah. Utah favored by just a field goal at home. And USC did win last year when Utah was ranked in the top 10 and favored in that game as well. So what do you think happens on Friday night?
Utah wins.
I think so. I think so. USC they're not showing me anything. I mean, I'm sure you saw their game against Stanford, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just equally horrible. They now have 2 games, and they've played 2 top 10 teams potentially, and have not racked up 20 points combined. I mean, I guess, if you're an Auburn fan, I mean, at least you're not a USC fan, right? You're not a Vanderbilt fan, right? Because, I mean, that's
Except for
tough to
USC's
stomach.
head coach is an Auburn alum.
Yes, indeed. Poor Clay Helton. All right, LSU-Auburn.
Right now, I think Auburn's the better team, but you can't trust Gus Malzahn. I'm going LSU.
No, you can't. Yeah.
I'm going LSU.
At least LSU kind of stays true to what they do, even if it's completely unimaginative. Georgia travels to Ole Miss for a top 25 matchup, but it's an 11 o'clock game. Does it get crazy?
I think Georgia wins.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Never put your money on a team the week after they play Alabama.
You're so right. You're so right. Absolutely. Even and Georgia had a close call against Missouri, so they're going to be going on the road.
Well, Missouri's better than people think this year. They're not a good.
You think so?
They're not a great team or a good team, but they're better than people.
They're better
think.
than Kentucky and Vanderbilt and South Carolina, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Florida State at South Florida. I really think this could be an upset right here. South Florida is a good team. They're coming in unranked, but they get Florida State at home. I'm picking the upset right here.
I'm going South Florida because I got to represent my boy Jack down South Florida.
Go old Jack.
Dude from Birmingham. Went down South Florida out of JUCO.
Defensive end, right?
No, let me tell you about this guy. Defensive end. Won the starting job in the spring. Went to Hines Community College as a freshman. And then after that, went to Lawson State for a year. Took a year off of football. Took 21 hours with a 4.0 so that he could graduate early and go and get to
transfer
school, and transfer in the spring.
Wow.
Won the starting.
That's dedication.
And won the starting job immediately. This guy's a dog. And
Man.
I got to give it
Can't
to
wait to see him play.
I got to give it to Ladarius Jackson.
All right.
Colin Jack.
Francois, you better watch out. He's coming for you.
He's coming for you.
All right. Wisconsin, Michigan State in an almost top 10 matchup, but I feel like Wisconsin is way overhyped here. I think they'll get shut down against Michigan State.
Michigan
What do you
State.
think? Yep. All right. Penn State, Michigan. I think Michigan wins big here.
Michigan.
Yep. Tennessee, Florida. We already talked about it earlier, but you see, I can't go with that. I'm taking my Vols, baby, my Vols. They got to get it done.
Good old Rocky Flop. Rocky Flop, Tennessee.
You better not flop for me, Rocky.
Rocky Flop,
Better not
you'll always
flopping.
be
Better
flopping home to
Heisman-ing.
me.
I mean, Florida
Good old
lost their
Rocky Flop.
lost their starting quarterback.
Rocky Flop,
Tennessee has been handed a golden nugget from the football gods. You better win this one, Butch, Tennessee, or you may never beat the Gators ever again. Just ask Kentucky. All right. Houston, Texas State, not interested, don't care. Oklahoma State, Baylor, don't really care.
Oklahoma State.
Still really don't care.
Move on.
Nebraska, Northwestern, don't care. Stanford, UCLA. UCLA at home, can they trip up the Heisman hopeful?
Yes, they can.
I think it could get close.
Stanford
won't. Didn't pull away from USC like I wanted.
Stanford, move on.
All right, Louisville, Marshall. Yeah, Louisville's going to stomp all over them. Marshall got
Arkansas, Texas A&M.
Marshall got beat pretty heavily this past week.
Nobody cares about
They
Marshall.
got beat by Akron. Let them score 65. So what the heck do you think Louisville's about to do?
Terry Bowden and Akron beat Marshall by 65.
No, they scored 65.
Scored 65.
Yes.
Terry Bowden.
Yep, that Terry Bowden.
Stumpy
Auburn
Terry.
fans.
Stumpy Terry. Oh my gosh.
Arkansas at Texas A&M. Well, actually, this isn't at Texas A&M. This is a neutral field site in Texas. I'm going to go Arkansas.
I'm going A&M.
All right, we're splitting on that. Washington, Arizona. It's at Arizona. This could be an interesting game. But you think Washington? Washington has been an absolute machine. They have won all of their games now by at least 30 points. And, I mean, Peterson's just got them going.
You're about to forget, man. Show's almost over. You're about to forget the battle for the bottom.
Oh, hit me with
South
it.
Carolina, Kentucky.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
South Carolina wins.
Yeah, the momentum is there. Kentucky is going nowhere fast.
And Alabama, Kent State.
I'm going to take Kent State on those points because Nick Saban will not embarrass his alma mater. He will not do it.
I don't think Nick Saban cares.
Oh, I think he cares about Kent State. I think he would not do that to his alma mater. I'd be blown away if they just crushed them at home. Plus, we know that Alabama starts out slow.
Yeah, they do, but Saban, have a heart. Only beat him by 40.
Come on, man.
Only beat him by 40.
Be nice.
That's
I know
all
they
we're
don't
asking.
make them like they used to anymore, Coach.
Just
but,
have a heart. Only beat him by 40.
Yeah. All right. Mississippi State, UMass, don't care. Missouri, Delaware State, do not care. Does Western Kentucky upset Vanderbilt at home?
No.
You think Vanderbilt goes to Western Kentucky and gets that win?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a bold play, my friend. Western Kentucky already favored by more than a touchdown.
I'm taking Vanderbilt.
All right, cool. Well, hey, that seems to be the end of our show. Shout out to Brent for calling in. Shout out to the guys at AL.com, Josh Sneed and Robert Clay, for calling in and talking with us about some football and their videos. You can find them on AL.com's YouTube page. And you can find about our shows as well on the Sidelines. Check it out on YouTube and on Facebook. Hunter, take us out.
Folks, thanks for joining us. Use the game. Don't let the game use you.
Take care.